And that doesn't describe it. I couldn't find a way to describe the suicidal thought, the suicidal state. Couldn't find a way to describe it. It's just you cannot contain the pain anymore. You have to let go and get out. You can't contain it.
Now, how many times have you tried?
I've tried 4 times.
Now, why have you taken pills instead of other ways?
Because pills, you don't experience that last moment. You're not awake falling from a building. You're not awake cutting your wrist. You're not awake in any other terrible way people kill themselves. You take pills, you fall asleep, that's the last thing. I'm bipolar with a borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorders are not supposed to be a popular diagnosis. It's an unappealing disorder. I was lonely and overweight, very overweight, and I was looking on the internet for someone to be with. I had been looking in the BDSM site, which is bondage and slave and master type sexuality, and I did meet a man who wanted a slave, and he told me certain things to do, made me kneel and put on a collar and take a pledge, and he could put certain equipment on my body, and told me to do things, and I was caught between being stimulated and being appalled. But I wasn't alone. I was with someone who was paying attention to me. And when I left, I felt so awful, so cheap. It was a truck driver, and we did it in his little space behind the cab. He had it all decked out with red lights and zebra skins and stuff like that.
Wow.
I hope she gets better. I hope the illness fades away and disappears, and that she has time in her life left for a fairly normal life, because it's been very, very rough for her for years.
I am 52 years old, and I write a 2-act play called Cry, Dignity. It is written in an effort to dispel the negative stigma our culture has against people with mental illness. Most of the story comes from my own personal experience. I write for 5 months. The characters take on a life of their own, just like I have heard many authors say. The cast of the play is made up entirely of the mentally ill except one person. We are very well received, and the reputation of this play follows me around to the present day.
Did you know that Laura was mentally ill?
Yeah, she's told me about that before.
And how does that impact her work?
There are times where you can see she's having rough days, but she always lands on her feet. You know Laura.